Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today, I am going over my personal bug out bag. Now, before we get started, what is a bug out bag? This is a common term for preppers who have these bags for bugging out. What that means is you found out that whatever situation that you have prepared for is happening, whether that be foreign invasion, economic crash, solar flare, all these other things. You don't have time to get all your shit that you've prepped, get it into your car, and get to your location. You have to grab the bare necessities. And a bug out bag will have those. The rule of thumb is to have enough stuff for at least a week. That will give you time to think of your situation and how to move forward, rather than be everybody else who's panicking because they hadn't yet gone to the Walmart before all this shit happened and they're low on food. So the first thing we're going to go through is the pack itself. You have many options. You have many modern options. You have modern hiking backpacks that are 4 foot tall that you can stuff with all kinds of shit. I went with a more old school approach. This is an Alice pack. It is a military pack that is designed for long patrols. It usually comes with a waist cinch, kind of like a saddle. Mine didn't come with it, so all I did is I just took some rope and I made a backrest. It's very comfortable this way. But what we're going to do is we're going to go from the outside in. So the first thing we're going to do is open this one. And in here, I have a tarp. I'm not going to take it out. It's too much work. But this is a 10 by 10 nylon tarp in natural colors. Very good for foreign invasions. So way you can have a camp that you can hide out in. That is mainly what I prep for, is foreign invasion. This country has way too many enemies. And while the chance of it happening are low, they're never zero. This is another part of my shelter. And this is my hammock. It is a Emo double nest hammock. Comes with the bag itself, and this contains the actual hammock. This will just hang out once you're done. And your straps. It's very comfortable. It's great during the summer, and it's not too bad in the winter. If you bring a couple of blankets. Hold on. And in this last pack, we have a map for navigating. This is a Write Anywhere notebook. It is water resistant. This one something else, but okay. And I will also go over a few weapons and tools that you should also use. I should have mentioned that earlier. I apologize. Okay, so now that we've gotten the outside, I can set this down. These packs, the cover is also a storage space. In here I have a Shemagh. You know, right now it's winter, so this is can be very much a kind of impromptu very much an impromptu headgear. You know, stuff that's full of pine needles. Keep your head warm. Keep your ears from freezing. You know, a lot of people say, "Well, you look ridiculous." I don't really care how I look in a fucking survival situation or foreign invasion. If need be, you can use it for concealment. You know, crouch down somewhere where it's nice and green. And if they're not careful, they'll go right by you. You know, in case of an injury, hold on. There you go. You got a sling. You can use it for dressing, for anything. You know, if you're sleeping, you could turn it into a pillow. Stuff it with pine needles. Stuff it with grass. If you happen to be lucky enough with finding cattail root, or cattails, take the heads, break them up, stuff them in here, and you got a warm pillow. That helps with morale. You get good sleep. You think better. This was a phone case, but I found that what the hell? Of course. I found that this is a very good waterproof bag. You know, you can stuff your Tinder in here. And you close it up and there you go. I believe the last thing I have in here second to last thing I have in here is an actual legit dry bag. It's a 10 liter. And so this can be used for storing clothing that would be really appreciated to stay dry. Socks, underwear, things like that. And the last thing we got in the top cover is Bankline. Bankline is a very good thread. It's surprisingly strong for how thin it is. So you can use this for trapping and snaring. It's black, so they're not going to see it. But that's also a bad thing, is it's black, so, and you're not going to be able to see it if you step through it. But if you're a snarer, you're not going to be going for a fucking deer. If you are, hats off to you. And if you get one, let me know, because I want to be your fucking friend. Jameson whiskey. That's another thing, actually. People don't think about it, but have a bottle of high proof alcohol. This has many benefits apart from getting fucked up. It is a fire accelerant. It is highly flammable. It is also very sterilizing. You get cut, just like literally open up your bottle of whiskey or whatever cheap hooch you got. Pour it on there. Take a little slug for the pain. Clean it off. Take a rag that you found. Wash it off in a stream. Soak some alcohol in there to really purify it. And clean your wound. It's also good for trade. If you're in a war zone with every other, well, hell, they want a drink. But no, so we got through the couple bits. I have a collapsible fishing rod. I have caught fish on this. I've caught pretty good sized fish on this. This one is a Zebco, fairly cheap. This has a regular hook, bobber setup, nothing too fancy. Where I live, we have a lot of lakes and a lot of rivers. A small fishing kit, and this has a little bit of everything. It has some old-fashioned jigs. It's got some new gummy. It's also got some weighted hooks. And then you got scented fake fish, weights, and hooks. So, and when you think about in terms of warfare, this is stuff you want to go for food. You don't want to go for animals and trapping unless those traps are you will know will kill. Because if you're hiding out, let's say you from the enemy, you trap a hog, it's gonna scream like fucking hell. Water is extremely important. That is why I carry 2 life straws, and I also have a billy can, which is up on the fridge, because I was cleaning it. And a lot of people don't consider with cooking and survival. They think, oh well, just calories. That's true, but you do want to be able to enjoy your meal. Carry some damn seasonings. Carry a. You can go. What I do is I get those metallic spices, like the metallic little cans of pepper or salt. I'll dump most of that out, put it in something else, and I'll make what's called a kitchen spice. And for me personally, it is black pepper, a little bit of salt, a good bit of garlic powder, Cajun seasoning, cayenne, and some brown sugar. Mix all that up together, And you got a spice that's gonna make anything taste good. Okay, I think this is it. This is the last thing. A first aid kit. This has bandages. Let me. So yeah, it has any kind of size bandages from small to large cuts. Trauma pads, sterilized gauze. Moist towelettes for cleaning wounds. Alcohol and alcohol wipes, things of that nature. These are compressed towels that you would put in water. So if you boil a pot of water, you sterilize, so it's sterilized. You dump these in, and you got thin towels to help clean shit off. This is good for general injuries, cuts, scrapes, things like that. Your bedding. Believe it or not, those plush blankets are not that bad. They're very soft, they're comfortable, they can fold up surprisingly small. So I tell people, if you need to go cheap, get those, because you can put 2 or 3 of those and you're going to be warm. But here, let me put everything up real quick. Food. I say this all the time. Just get Spam. In survival situation, people say, "Oh, well, I don't like the taste of Spam." When you haven't eaten them for 4 fucking days, you'll eat whatever goddamn you can get. Hell, that Spam that you hated when you could have whatever you wanted, it's gonna taste like filet fucking mignon by the time when you get hungry enough. Okay, so we got through the bug out bag. Next thing you want to worry about is wood, whether this is for building, for fire, or for building traps. There's only 2 things that you really truly need. A good axe with a nice sharp edge. It doesn't have to be razor sharp, but it should be decent sharp. I tell people it should be sharper than what you're used to when it comes to an axe. Your skin should catch. And this is a Husqvarna Forest Axe. It is based off of the Grand Forest Brooks Forest Axe. It has some, I've altered the handle slightly. This was thicker, but I didn't like that, so I thinned it out. That way I can get close for good for fine chops. It's reasonably thick. The only thing I don't like about this handle is they put a circular um, bit in, or not bit, wedge. Right, yeah, wedge. So this has been out in the woods for a while. You don't want something that's, you know, real shiny. I recently just put this on the old polish wheel just to help get that rust off. This is a very good axe. You're not going to be able to... Now, it doesn't have the mass of an actual splitting axe. You know, for very large things of wood that you can get multiple splittings off of for your firewood. But this is good for a camp situation. Now, if you're in an actual camp, you're not really going to spend the time to split your wood. You're going to use this to chop the trees down that are dead and standing. That is what you want. Dead standing wood, unless it has not rained for a few days and you find elevated but fallen wood. I'm talking about, let's say you find a bunch of saplings that have blown over. You're not going to choose the bottom shit that's on the ground. You're going to choose the stuff that's on top. Okay? That had airflow. That had the sun on it. That is going to be the driest wood. The other part is your saw. I joined the crowd and I bought a Gomboy. What kind is this? Silky Gomboy 240. I like this. I like this handle, rubberized handle. You know, if your hand gets sweaty, it's not gonna slip out. It is kind of weird having to learn how to pull a Japanese saw, because you don't force it going forward. You do it coming back, and you rip the wood out. So it's easy rip, easy rip, easy rip, easy rip, easy rip. But with this and a good axe, you will never be without firewood. These do come in a plastic holster. I am not a fan of them. I kept mine in the plastic holster for a while, but it rattles. It just makes too much noise, and it's plastic. Sooner or later, that's going to fail. I am in the process of buying leather, and I'm going to make a leather holster that holds it up to here. That's why I have the little tassel, so I can pull it. Now your knives. Knives, you have debate over debate over debate. Oh, you need to get a hand forged blade, because then you know they're gonna care about their quality, because that's their name on the line. Oh, you don't have to worry about that if you spend a shit ton of money. There's no set parameters on what makes a good knife, honestly. The most common parameters are comfortable handle, decently sharp, holds that edge good. You know, this is a Cold Steel Recon Tanto. This holds a very good edge. It is a good handle. It's rubber. It's texturized rubber, so your grip is not compromised at all. This would be a good overall blade, both for a bushcraft and for a fighting blade as well. That being said, I don't have it. The Buck 110 folding pocket knife. That is also a very good brand. I have one with a sharpened back edge. I like it a lot. That is the knife I take to work. And it's sharp and it resharpens easily. Now, sharpening with the axe, this is all you really and truly need, is a good double bastard file or single cut bastard file. That's what you need, because that will really remove metal. After that, you can take it to the stone just to kind of get that rough edge kind of polished up, but it's not needed. This is a Nicholson file. I do suggest finding ones with handles like this, because you can then use this hole and wrap it with leather, and it makes a very comfortable handle for it to use. You've got to think of comfort at some point. Okay, there's no point in bringing a tool if it makes you uncomfortable using it, because then you're never going to want to use it, and your workmanship is going to fall. And if your workmanship falters when, like you're saying, you're building a log cabin for you and your family, well then at some point your cabin's going to fucking fall apart. And generally it's going to fall apart in the middle of winter when you freeze your nuts off. So we've gone over knives, we've gone over wood processing. What I carry in my bug out bag, in my experience, now weapons, as in firearms. I also am a believer that preppers should learn how to use a traditional bow and arrow. You don't have to go out into the woods and fucking cut down a tree and make one, but get a decent recurve or a long bow. Don't skimp on the money when it comes to this. Those are extending food procurement, because sooner or later your bullets are going to run out. I don't care if you reload your own bullets. One day you're going to run out of powder, or you're going to run out of primers, or your machine's going to fucking break and you can't replace it. So, close range, me personally, I have to go with a Glock. Almost every military in the world uses Glocks, or they use some kind of 9mm firearm. So I'm not gonna say, oh, everybody needs a Glock. This Glock came cheap. It's a good gun. It's fairly accurate. I like this gun. It holds 17 rounds. It's fairly easy to clean. Basically, all you gotta do is take the back with the sight, push it back slightly, and you have that little slot. You're gonna push those little tines down, and there you go. Now you can squirt some oil in there, take your barrel out, clean out your barrel, put it all together. It's literally this spring holding in the barrel. You know, just take it and there you go. The barrel's out. You can clean it. You can do whatever you need. Put it back in. There you go. Your top is completely assembled. Match the grooves. You're ready to go. Good holster is also very important. I like this one because it is a locking holster. To unlock it, you literally have to twist towards yourself. Here, see? I'm pulling this straight. I'm twisting it. It also has some serious hooks to where it is damn near impossible. It's almost impossible for me to take this off of my belt once I put it on. I have to slide my belt out through the loops. Now you have your mid to long range, and that is going to be something like a classic AR-15. This is a Ruger AR-556 with a Picatinny rail, metal flip-up sights. It has a holographic sight or a red dot sight. It has a Crimson Trace flashlight, flashing warning, that has the strobe light effect for disorientating your opponents. Just a very common, almost retro at this point, forward hand grip. And it had, I put some Ranger bands on the handle just to have a little extra grip. All this is bicycle inner tube. They're called Ranger bands because the U.S. Army Rangers started using them for things like securing magazines and keeping certain lids closed. Kind of like the sorry y'all, I'm tired. Kind of like the Altoid survival kits. You know, people get an Altoid tin, they fill it up with like some matches, a cheap pocket knife, a couple yards of fishing line, and some lures and hooks. I'm guilty of doing that. But yeah. Also, a single point sling, very comfortable. Have it on like this, and you can just let it hang. It's not too bad. You know, if you're standing, you can put your shoulders on it a little. You know, let's say you're having a clear building and you have to go like this. It's just as easy. So yeah, this is my basic loadout. I plan on getting a plate carrier as soon as I can save up the money. But I've just now started kind of outfitting my rifle with attachments. Before this, all I had was the pistol grip and the forearm, or the foregrip, and the metal sights. This was a purchase right before Christmas, and this was a purchase right after New Year's. And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't spend money on New Year's." This was the last fucking one they had. This light, literally, no, like this light was the last thing on that fucking shelf. I grabbed it before somebody else could. Now, if you're wanting super long range, you're going to want to get yourself like a bolt action rifle, something at least 30-06. Everybody says, you know, 6.5 Creedmoor all the way. I'm just like, dude, just get a fucking simple damn cartridge. You know, don't be shelling out $3,000 for a 338 Lapua. Like, you don't need that. Okay, you're not Chris Kyle. You're not gonna be taking fucking mile-long shots. The most you're gonna do is like 300 yards. Anything more than that, you're kidding yourself, honestly. So, the only time you're gonna go past that is if you have fucking military training as a sniper. But that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up. Other than that, hope you have a good day. God bless.